Okay, hi, hello everyone. Good evening. I hope you all can hear me. Voice, my voice is clear. Can someone confirm that? Okay, let us check the live session. All right. Good evening, all of you. Yes, good evening. All right, great. If my voice is clear, that's more than enough. Good. Thank you. Okay, good evening, all of you. I see many people have logged in. Perfect. So as we all know, the agenda is that we will be continuing with the Git, and unfortunately, students, again, I have Wi-Fi crisis at the same time that it happened yesterday. But somehow yesterday I was still getting good network. I had to move out of the house to get the network coverage here. But only drawback is that here I'll be only able to take the session till 7:30 because I might lose net battery in the place where I am right now. So don't worry. Within this 1 hour, we will cover a lot of things. We will uh, enrich ourselves with the knowledge of Git starting right now. Okay, I see that my voice is clear, and many of you are putting that in the chat. Good evening to all. Good evening. All right. So, with this in mind, let us just start back. And my whiteboard is visible. Great. So, we will start back from the whiteboard. We will understand all the commands today, and probably we will practice them in a live session tomorrow. I'll see how much can I stretch today, right? So first of all, talking about the configuration file, we all know what git configuration does. So the command is git config, and once we are into the configuration, dash dash global is the file name. We want to do the settings for the global level. User dot name is something that we use, right? And here we have to pass the username. Like for example, for me, the username would be, I'll just use XML tags for now, so that it becomes a generic thing, right? You can pass in whatever you want. So this will be for git basic configuration, and I will share this whiteboard link with students, so don't worry, you will get all this handwritten notes very soon. Okay, and once this is done, I'll also keep looking into the chats. Okay, sir, I was not able to perform the operations done yesterday, can you please revise? All right, sure, I will definitely help you with that, do not worry. And basically I'm revising that when it comes to the whiteboard. I'm doing that, right? All right, sure. So let me also just keep a quick look onto the chats which are happening, because they are also important. All right, okay, I'll just scroll down to the live chat. Okay, all right. Will there be notes provided, sir? Yes, yes, of course. I'll provide you with this whiteboard, and I'll enrich you with the notes. Do not worry. I'll give you more elaborated notes also. As I promised, there will be notes. Yes, you will get them by the end of the session. Okay. Now, with that being said, we will move forward. So this is the Git config, how you do that. Now we will move ahead and we will try to understand what are the more configurations that can be done on the Git, right? So with that being said, once you have your email ID coming in, you can also have your name coming in. So the next is Git config for dash dash. Again, this will be for global students. User dot email, right? So what user dot email will do is it will basically add your email ID into the configuration file. You can type in your email over here, right? So you will type your email ID right over here, and this will come into this, right? Perfect. So with that being said, this is some basic configuration that is needed and can be done. And whenever you want to check the git for the configuration, whether I've done it or not, you will just simply use git config, and you will just go for the list dash dash list. Okay, so again we will go to this point. We will explain sets the username, sets the username, and once we go ahead, we do this email id, it sets the email id for us, right? Email id, and shows the current config details, right? So yesterday I showed you through the practical session also that you can also just type in git config dash dash global and user dot name. That's it. It will display you the username in the output. You can do git config dash dash global user dot email, and it will show you email in the output. If you want to do if you want to get all the config details in one single command, you will have to do git config dash dash list, and that is something that will help you with it, right? So you can keep a note of that, you can keep a track of it, how to use which file. Now moving ahead, we will understand, suppose we have to edit few things in the editors, right? So if you people are not aware, Windows people, Mac people, wherever you are, there are some built-in simple you can say editors available like Vim or Nano. These are the commands which can be there, right? So we can simply even configure which editor to use. By default, Git has its own default, so you can also do git config. So this also comes in the configuration dash dash. At global level, we want to change this configuration, so we'll say git config dash dash global, and at this point we will just add the core editor. Okay, so core dot editor is the choice of the text editor that you want to use by default, and editor name. Okay, editor name could be the example right over here. Like for example, if I want to use Vim or Nano or some another text editor, I can by default specify that, right? All right. Yes, in the command prompt, Mikey, in the command prompt, you can set these configurations. Yes. And all right, sir, git status is giving me error in about 20 red lines. Well, it is more important that you read that error out to try to understand what exactly is the error. If it is saying you fatal, this is not a git repository, it means that you're trying to hit git status at a point where it doesn't recognize that location as a repository, right? That is the most important thing that we need to understand. uh, so a repository is a place where .git file should exist, right? So that's important. You can try to elaborate what the error is. Maybe we can look into more into it, right? So with that being said, these are some basic configurations that you can do and always check, right? So now you understand the bare basics of git, that what is a repository. A repository is like a folder that contains all the files, right? The directory, it is it is basically like a complete project in itself. It holds all the history of the project. It is a central place where git likes to store all the history of the commits, branches, tags, and all related data right over there. Now, then when we talk about what is a working directory, if we understand directory, so working directory is something that you are currently working on in your local machine, right? Right where you are editing files. So yesterday we created a working directory and we were working in it. So that's our working directory, right? A particular part where we are working. And again, we understand what is a staging area. So staging area is a intermediary area between your working directory and the repository. See, what does this mean? Okay, you created a repository, fine, okay, you created a repository. Now you are working in that repository. What does this mean is that you are now working in that working directory. Okay, so that's known as working directory. Your repository could be at any particular point. Maybe your repository is on the cloud. For example, you are using GitLab or GitHub. You have stored your repository over there. You have cloned the repository from GitHub, GitLab, and once you have cloned it, wherever you are working on it, it is your working directory, right? So when we talk about working directory, it is the area where you are editing files and Git doesn't bother what you're doing over there, right? Until and unless you enter the staging area. So where does staging area come into picture? So let us just understand it through the whiteboard also. Again, so suppose I'll do say we have I'll just put the title over here. Okay, working directory. Okay, what does this mean? Versus a repo. Let's try to understand this. So suppose we have some Git solution provider like GitHub is a company which provides us the Git services. Okay, there we have our directory. Okay, this is our uh, directory. All right, and once we have a directory, what we're gonna do is basically we have our uh, working directory. Okay, you can also call this as your repository. Okay, on the git that you have, what you will have to do is you will have to simply take a clone first. Okay, you take a clone of this thing which sits right over here with you. So this is your, you can say, working directory where you are working on. You do changes over here, right? You do changes over here, and once you're doing changes here, you save them, right? You save your changes. You save your changes. In order to save the changes, you will have to do what? You will have to do git add, right? So git add is the command with a dot or whatever you want to do it, where comes into the picture known as the staging area, right? So this is where staging area comes into picture. So staging area, what it will do is it will store all your temporary things. And once you proceed with the commit, right? So once you say that I'm going to do git commit over here, git commit, it pushes things into the directory, right? So this is the idea. What is a repository? What is a working directory? And where the staging area comes into picture. So idea is clear, students. We have a repository, we have the working directory, and we have the staging area, right? So this is a quick recall or revision from yesterday, that you have understood this things. What does it mean? If there is still any confusion or any clearance needed on working directory or repository or the staging area, you are free to put it in the comments. My comments are always loaded on the screen. I can look them, so do not worry. Just put in the comments. I'll be able to get it, right? Okay. So uh, with this being said, we have also recapped few things, that how to create a repository, right? So how do we create a repository is a question. So in order to do that, yesterday did this in the lab session. The command is to git init, right? So git init will initialize the repository, okay? And then we can do many things over here, right? The repository is created. We can take a clone of it if we want, okay? A clone of it if we want. If not, we can start working over here, right? Start working in local. Start working in the local place where you have created it. You will be adding files over here, right? So what you will be doing is basically, just let me quickly switch to another ink right over here. Perfect. So you will be adding files, right? Adding files, modifying files, right? So these are few things that you will be doing in terms of work, right? So once you have done this, you will be doing git add, and this is where the staging area will come into picture, right? Staging area. And right from here you will do git commit. And in order to put your changes in the directory, you will have to use the command known as git push, okay? So git push will push the changes into the repository wherever you have placed it, okay? So these are few things that you need to remember. Git add file name or a dot, git commit dash m, which will make a commit, right? uh, you can always give a name to the repo even when you go to any place, like you can rename it or name it, okay? You can view the repository status, and you can also do it easily with your GUIs, okay? Like if when we tomorrow understand the GUI of GitLab or GitHub, I'll further explain you how you can rename repositories, or how you can do that settings, right? It is quite possible. Okay. So with that being said, I also explained you, I'll add a bonus tip over here. You can always check logs, always check commit history to from the CMD commit history. So for that, what you have to do is you'll have to use git log, right? So git log is something that will give you the commit history, what has happened throughout, right? So let us proceed and further understand some interesting concepts in git, okay? Branches, okay? Branches is something that we will understand today, and we will try to talk about it as much as possible, until and unless my laptop battery provides me enough juice. Currently I have around 35 minutes of battery with me, so we will try to do as much as possible with it, right? Okay. Proceeding further, the command, first of all, let us understand the command to create a branch is simply we'll have to write git branch, okay? And we will have to do the branch name right over here. Very simple command, students. You will just have to put in branch name over here. So you will do branch name, and you are good to go. You have your branch name coming right over here, right? Once you have the branch name, what you will have to do is, now this command, what it does is, let me explain you right over here. So you will just simply say this command creates a branch, okay? this command creates a branch. So let me go ahead and try to also do this with you on the live session. Let me see if I can share my other screen. Let me present, share screen, and I'll share my entire screen right over here. Okay. All right. So I hope my other screen. Let me try to stop the share from here once. Okay. I'll stop the screen and I'll push the other screen. Okay, let me do this. All right, so I'm just bringing in the other screen for you guys to understand that. Just give me a minute, students. The screen should be there. Yes, definitely, Mikey. Do not worry. The syllabus doesn't go anywhere. We will definitely cover everything tomorrow, and today I'll try as much as possible. We will be covering branches today. Okay, so let me just wait for the other screen to come up live. Is it live? Just let me check with it. All right, let us check. Okay, so let me check quickly. I am trying to bring up my other screen on. Meanwhile, let us check if there are any interesting comments to reply to. All right. Probably not yet, right? Just give me a minute. StreamYard is sharing your screen. You are in the show, and okay, I'm not able to see right now if my screen is coming up live or not. Okay, everyone can see the screen, but probably not. All right. Can you all see the screen? All right. Yes, Viraj. Probably I am on vacation. Yeah, that's true. All right. Let me check if the screen is coming up right. No, right? The screen is not yet visible. Let me try to present it once again. Share screen. I'll try to share my entire screen and let us see if it is visible. My screen. Let me try to share the screen once again. I Let me check once again. The screen should be visible. Just give me a minute, students. Quickly, I'll just get it handled. Yeah, right. Just give me a minute. I'll just get it sorted. All right, all right. So just give me a minute. The screen should come up now. Okay, let us check if the screen is coming up by any chance. Okay, what is M? So you can I try to remember it as make git commit make. So that's how I remember dash M, and it makes sense to me that git commit make this commit, right? So that's how you can remember dash M. Still not able to present the screen, right? Let us just try to wait for a while. This screen should come up very soon. All right. Only your face is visible. Yeah, bro, I can see that. Unfortunately, I want the screen to come up too. Okay, okay. What is dash M? Screen is not yet visible. Yeah. Okay, let me check why the screen is not coming up. Still screen is not visible, right? Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, Gaurav, I do teach web hosting also as a curriculum. I have taught people web hosting. Okay, let us wait. Let us wait for a while till the screen comes up, because I wanted to show you and explain you using the terminal itself how do we create branches and how do we do things over there. So let us just wait for a while, students. Let's just wait for the screen to come up. Okay, I'll just try to open up the directory where we were working yesterday. All right, I have the directory with me, but the screen is not yet come up. Okay, so I'll just do present. The screen is live. Just give me a minute. So, what some interesting comments? Let's try to read through them, students. If you can interact, I am pretty sure all of you have very great sense of humor, and you must be curious for some doubts and queries also. Let us see if we can handle them. Okay. All right. Just let me check if my network is working fine. You want to know my qualifications and job status? Okay, so the qualification and job status of mine would be that I have done my post graduation in machine learning and AI, and as my I've been working for more than 4 years now. I work mostly with technologies related to backend AI, and I've also worked as data scientist for some while. All right, great. So my screen is live and up. Now we can just quickly go ahead and open up that folder where we were working on, right? I'll just quickly check if my screen is up and you guys can see it. Yep, it should come up in some. Yeah, all right, great, perfect. All right, TK students. So now I'll just do right click, open up a terminal right over here. And once I do that, so for me, this is there, and I'll do git status, and you'll be able to see I'm on master branch, nothing to commit, working tree looks clean. So for that, what we're going to do is firstly I'll try to create a branch for me, right? So I'll do git branch, and I'll say developer ML. Suppose I want to develop some machine learning feature, and I want separate branch to create that feature, right? So in order to do that, what I'll be doing is I'll be creating a branch right over here. Okay, and I'll just hit enter. Okay, now when I do git status after this, it shows I'm still on the master branch, nothing to commit, and git you can say the working tree looks clean, right? So in order to I told you even in the notes when I was making that git branch only creates a branch for you. It doesn't take you to that branch. So the command to go to that branch is git checkout. Okay, and we'll just simply have to type in the exact name of the branch that you have created, right? So git checkout to developer ML, and it will give you a message that we have switched your branch to developer ML now. And now when I do git status, it will show me that I am on the developer branch ML and nothing to commit over here, right? Now if I do ls over here, it will show me that it has feature1 .txt. Okay, and I'll just simply create some new files over here. Suppose I do new uh, text file. Okay, and I'll do ml feature right over here, or let me just create it like this, f1 name one. Okay, I'll create a very simple file. Suppose this is some coding that I'm doing, something that I'm writing in define, or I'll just define a function, okay, which takes some input one. Okay, and forget the syntax, forget the spelling mistakes. I'll do some processing on this input, right? This is the code block. Okay, we are doing some logical task with the input, and once we are done with it, we will simply go ahead and do return output. Okay, and return output 1. Okay, and we will just save this. Suppose we have developed our feature and we are good to go. Now what we will do is we'll do git status, and once we check that, you will see you are on branch developer ml and there are some untracked files. Okay, untracked files with the name of ml feature1.txt. Of course we want to add it to the committing to the staging area. We have done that. We'll do git status again, and you will see that we are on the correct track. New file is added, and we will do git commit dash m, adding the ml feature to ml branch. Okay, and I'll commit it. Now I'll do git status, and you'll be able to see that on developer branch nothing to commit, and I'll do git checkout main, and once I do this, okay, just a second, and I'll do this. So okay, I'll just simply check out and I'll do git status right over here, and you will see currently we're on the developer branch. Okay, and the working tree looks clean, nothing to bother work or focus over here. We are simply on the correct track. We have added things, and now I'll do once again git checkout, and I'll do the branch name as master, and once we hit here, we are switching back to the master branch, and I'll do git status right over here, and you'll see we're on the master branch, nothing to commit over here because even the master branch is not been edited for this point, right? So when I do ls over here, you will be able to see कि master branch पे अभी भी feature1.txt एक ही file पड़ी है, right? There's just one single file over here. But once I do again git checkout to the developer ml, and now when I do ls over here, I have two files. Feature1.txt hai, but one more file that I created, ml feature1.txt, is right over here, right? You can see these are the two files available right over here. And once I do git checkout to master, you will see that master doesn't has that, right? So in order to simply do part where now ml branch should be merged into the main branch. So whatever is there in the ml branch, now we want to take it to the main branch. That is where merging concept comes into picture, right? So merging is again a part where we will understand soon enough. So before that, we can check how many branches does this git has. So git branch dash a is something that will give us, it will do a asterisk and a green color on the current branch where you are right now, and all other branches available, right? So suppose if we do not want a branch, so what we will do is we will do git branch delete and the branch name. So developer ml, suppose you want to delete this branch, when we hit it, it will give you a hint. If you are sure you want to delete it, run a capital D. Okay, disable this message with git config avoid advise force delete branch false. I'll explain you what does this two line mean. So currently git has a safety feature. Okay, how any gun has a mechanism of safety lock, similarly a git has a safety feature which will not let you delete any branch accidentally. What does this mean is that suppose if I want to delete the developer ml branch, it will be deleted if it is merged already. Any merged branch, good to go, you can delete it. But git recognizes that developer ml has some code or some effort that you have saved which is not yet available in the main branch. So deleting it is a careful step. So again, if I'm pretty sure that I messed up this branch and I don't want it anymore, capital D will do the task. Git branch dash D developer ML should do it, and you will see that git branch developer ML was deleted forcefully, and git gave you enough consequences and enough warnings before it that you must be pretty sure what you are doing, right? Now when we do git branch dash A, we just have one single branch, right? So that's the core logic and concept that we need to remember, how branching works, right? So I'll just simply try to recap everything for you. See, now we understand what branching means. First of all, branching means that we will create separate branch to work on some different features altogether, right? So there are two most popular branching strategies used in the IT industry. Let me try to explain you what these branching strategies are. The first branching strategy is known as the splitting your code into production and development branches, right? So main branch is always the production branch, and you create only one more branch, which is known as developer branch, okay, or development branch. What does this mean is that whatever code you are working, you will be working in one single branch only. All your developers, front end, back end, or like 10, 20, whatever workforce you have, two developer, four developer, they all will be working in one single branch, that is developer branch, right? Whatever changes they are pushing, whatever changes they are committing, it all comes into the developer branch only. And once you feel the developer branch is developed correctly, it is bug free, then you can merge the main branch. That is one strategy that the IT industry can use. The other strategy that the IT industry can use is that, suppose if your project or your task is feature rich, what does this mean is that you have 10, 20 different features to work on, right? So in this case, there is another strategy that can be used. It is known as feature based branching. What does this mean is that, suppose I have a main branch. This main branch is like the production branch. It has all the code that is to be deployed in the CI/CD pipeline. This is something that I am integrating and developing and deploying in the same phase. But I need isolation from other developers. ठीक है? Previous task में क्या हो रहा था? Previous task के अंदर there was just one single branch, developer branch. All developers were putting their efforts right in there. Now suppose one developer is working on one feature which is very unique in itself, and it needs a separate development. Like, there should be no disturbance from other developers, right? Suppose एक developer ने कोई एक line change कर दी, commit कर दिया, and now this line is troubling your code, right? So in this case, isolation के लिए we do feature wise branchings. Okay, so in that case we will create ML feature one branch, ML feature two branch. Yeah, suppose you're building something that requires speech to text, एक feature चाहिए, तो स्पीच टू टेक्स्ट की ब्रांच बना दोगे, टेक्स्ट टू स्पीच की ब्रांच बना दोगे, एनएलपी ब्रांच बना दोगे, you will do back end branch, front end branch. Okay, so you will do micro splitting of your branches, and each branch will contain that particular isolation task, and then you can merge it in the main. So these are two different strategies. Depending upon the use case, what project you are solving, what thing you are building, you effectively decide the strategy of how do you want to branch things out, right? And again, to recap what we have done, we understood that we can create git branch and branch with the branch name. I'll say Gaurav ML is a branch name, Gaurav Dev is a branch name by the name of the developer, and I'll just do git check out to Gaurav Dev. So by default, this branch is made by copying the data from the main, right? कोई भी branch जब बनती है, तो main branch में जो भी data है, उसको copy करके बनती है by default. This is the default that the Git can provide, right? So if I do git status over here, you will say I'm on the main branch and nothing to commit over here. But if I do ls also give me just one single file जो main branch में थी, right? This is the main priority that is there. कि whatever is in the master branch is copied into your particular branch, right? So suppose now if I want to create anything over here, I can just do it, and I'll just go right click. I'll create one more branch coming in right over here, which is text document. I'll say uh, okay, say feature 2, and I'll hit it. Okay, so this is being developed by me. Okay, developed by me. This contains some code that I have written in another branch. Okay, and once I have done it, I'll just save it. Once I save it, once I save it, I'll just simply go here and do git status, and git status will give me one more branch feature, like one more obviously a file feature2.txt, and I'll just have to do git add feature.txt, and I'll do git commit dash make adding say feature 2. Okay, just avoid my background student, sorry for the inconvenience. And once we have done that, we will now proceed. And once we have proceeded with it, now we will simply have to do git status. And once we do git status, we will say Gaurav dev branch is all up to date and there is nothing to be committed here, right? So once we have this, now I can simply push my changes because I'm pretty sure that my branch task is done over here. I'll do git push, and once I do, it will specify the URL. Okay, that where do you want to push? Okay, so if I want to push things to the remote, then give me the remote name, or if I want to do that. So what does this mean is that we will only be able to push if you are working with the remote, right? Currently our repository, repo, and the working directory are all on local, right? So if our code is on you can say origin remote, even that will work. So for that we have to make sure that there is GitLab या GitHub पे कहीं पे ये branch पड़ी है where we want to hit it, right? For now it won't work that way. So I'm just giving you the idea that this is the complete pipeline of the flow where you create branches, you edit particular things in that branches, and once you're done you just simply push things back. All right, so can we change the name of the branch? You can do the renaming of the branch. That's quite possible. And sir, I'm getting a fatal error, not a Git repository. Of course, Justin, if you're getting that fatal error, it's not a Git repository. It means that you have not hit this command Git init. You'll have to hit this command only, then you will be able to create a repository, right? In order to check whether you have successfully created a repository or not, you can always go make sure that view के अंदर you have this show hidden folders activated, and you are able to see this .git file. If you're not able to see .git folder, or if git status is showing you not a fatal, it's a git, not a git repository, it means that your git init didn't work, right? And yep, uh Suganthan, you are pretty correct. My battery is pretty low, around 10-15 minutes of more juice left in the laptop. Unfortunately, we will bear with it, but I think I'm able to cover up at least the branching feature, how it is supposed to work. Let us quickly check what is more in the pipeline that we need to understand. So for tomorrow, of course, there is GitLab or GitHub. We will understand what these features are supposed to do and work for us. I'll just quickly check. Let me load in your syllabus. It is just loading up quickly, and once we go over there, yeah, I think it's more than enough. We will be able to just cover these things right on time. We now have the idea of how the branching is supposed to work. Let us just quickly do over here. So we have done initialize repositories, branching and merging. We will look into it, dive deep into Git. We'll be able to stashing and everything. We have done that. Git stash is something just to remove things from the staging area. Okay, and once this is done, yep, so tomorrow we will take introduction with GitHub and we will cover this part. Okay, that is remote repositories. This is something that you won't be able to do it, but stashing rebase, do not worry, it's just 5 minutes of efforts that I need to put in for you guys. Okay, so yep, with that being said, let us open up the chat for some doubts, people. Let us see what are the doubts that are coming in, and let us quickly try to look into the doubts. That will be really interesting. And since my battery is pretty low, I'll just let you know that I'll not be able to conduct session for a longer while. Let me also just put that we will stop live in 5 minutes. All right, please share the syllabus, sir. All right, sir, is that notes, doc link, or other thing in the above mentioned documentation? No, Mikey, that's not the notes. Sir, it is giving permission denied. What is giving you permission denied is basically it means that your terminal, the CMD let that you have opened up, it doesn't belong to the admin access. Do one thing, right? Do right click, see terminal right over here. Right click and run as administrator, then you will be able to do it, right? Right, so right click run as administrator is something that you should be able to do it. Anyways, Viraj, I love teaching, and it is something that I cannot sleep without it, so I do not bother about salary in that case. Even you should not bother about that. uh, I love teaching, you love learning things, so that's more important than the money coming in over here, right? Right, okay, so today it is a RCB match. Okay, let me just make sure that I see at least the final few overs of that match. And which team should we cheer for? Tech in Kannada, what do you think? Sir, can we change the name of the branch? Yes, sure, of course you can. I'll definitely work around with that with you. Just let me make sure I have enough juice tomorrow. By juice, I mean the battery. Best and cool teacher I have seen. Oh, perfect. I have been the most cool student also. So makes sense. So the text which you have pinned here above, when open, it shows doc and it'll other stuff. No, no, Mikey, that's not coming from me. Do not worry. I have promised you all that I'll not let you go home without notes. I'll make sure that we have notes coming in tomorrow. Okay, sir, please increase the screen size. Okay, sure. Let me do that for you. Uh, all right. Okay, thank you. How can I get the note? So notes will be available, Sahil. The notes will be available in the Google Drive. I always share that, and you can just quickly copy things from the drive and keep it with you forever, right? So that's the most important thing. How to comment a single file. So to commit a single file, let me just quickly try to make one single file right over here. Right click new. I'll just do copy paste. Okay, I have created one new file, and I'll do git status right over here. Now you see there is one file that I need to commit. So in order to do that, I'll have to do git add. I'll just write the file name. It is feature 2 dash copy dot txt in double quotes. I'll add that file name, and this is how single file add will work, right? I hope that explains you. Okay. So with that being said, students, I think we will. All right, all right. Uh, Jaysant, right? If I'm not wrong, I'll cheer for RCB tonight. I'll make sure that that's the agenda, and perfectly. What color is your trophy? Okay, perfectly. You guys are more into cricket than me, but I'll make sure that I have some interesting comments, interesting discussions to do with you tomorrow about today's match. Let's make sure it goes good. All right.